Seriously black with the wizard and flow. The mental circle in time for the show. Wands up high, let that magic go. From the chamber of secrets to the castle door. Seriously black with that wizard and flow. Expecto Patronum, is it a goat or a doe? Every spell cast, every bar that flows. This is our time, watch the legend go.
Hello, this is Mordi, and I'm here with Ant, and this is Seriously Black, the Harry Potter podcast for the culture. Woo. How you doing today, brother?
What's going on?
I'm doing all right. Been a busy week, but productive. Happy to crush out another episode. So let's start with the weekly profit. Okay.
All right. We gotta do some housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
Yeah. Let's do the profit, and then we'll get to the housekeeping.
Okay. So let's start with the before we even get into it, subscribe to the page, support the movement for sure. So there was an interview with the new Hermione, and she was basically talking about the new role, the TV adaptation to it, and she said she couldn't really divulge too much information about it, but she was just really having fun with it. And she started reading the books when she was 8 years old, worked her way through them, loves Harry Potter, and just really very, very, very excited about everything that's going on, which made me really think this interview was this weekend actually, which made me think, obviously, you've got Hermione, you've got Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint. Let me ask you this question: have we let the big three down in regards to lack of support? Because I feel like the support for these young actors and actresses is very, very strong right now, in regards to making sure they succeed. And you're starting to see a lot of these child actors being able to sprinkle into new realms. I feel like, 20 years ago, like prime example, you had like a Carlton who was just stuck to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it was so hard for him to get out of that role. You had Topanga, who was, Boy Meets World, stuck in that role. They're talking about these three kids like the world's at their oyster right now. Did we let them down? Did we support, Harry, Ron, Hermione as much? Did they box themselves in? What's your stance on that?
I think that was a time where the world changed in a very particular way.
Mm-hmm.
And, with social media blowing up and, other new things in terms of getting your message out, like individually, like as an individual actor. I think well, first it's an iconic. Those roles were iconic. They're life-changing roles regardless. I think we talked a little bit about this with what's the kid who plays Neville?
Matthew.
I know Matthew. Matthew Lewis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These child actors who played these roles, these iconic roles. I mean, it's so hard to move away from that or into something else. They grew up on the set. Like that's not a euphemism. That's like reality. Like they grew up doing this movie. So I don't know if I would say we didn't support them. I think that sometimes it's hard to separate actors from particularly iconic roles.
Mm-hmm.
And for Daniel Radcliffe, he's always going to be Harry Potter. So the day he kicks off, he's going to be Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing for Emma Watson and Rupert Grint. They're always going to be associated with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and part of it is like, I think that, Daniel Radcliffe talked about having a drinking problem while he was like, as he got older and things like that. I think a lot of that plays into what their careers have been thus far.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's uncharted territory navigating like such a big phenomenon in the new, social media information era where everybody has seen the Harry Potter series. Everybody knows Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter. So it's hard to like if he goes into something else, it's like, oh, that's Harry Potter playing something else. So I think that the combination of that plus the combination of them being so young and like growing up doing this is why their careers haven't like they're not, major, in a lot of other things, so to speak.
Okay, so let's talk about the next one. So I'm gonna ask you a question. I need you to guess. A article just came out in regard to the per minute price point or return on their minutes per screen time in the Harry Potter films. Who do you think got paid the most when you log their minutes, right?
Between the kids or all like everyone who's a part of the
everyone that's a part of the show. So their real pay rate over the course of that versus the amount of time they spent on air.
I mean, I can't imagine the kids would have gotten such huge contracts to start out. I mean, you really got to think about who was in the series every movie. So, the kids, McGonagall, Snape. Definitely, it's not Dumbledore because they had to change actors because Richard Harris died.
Yeah.
Who else was in every significant screen time? Maggie Smith is she was well established before Harry Potter, so I can imagine that she got a pretty ticket. So was Alan Rickman. I'm gonna say it's either one of them. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anyone. I mean, by the end, they gotta be paying. They gotta be paying the kids some real money by the end.
Some big paper.
If I'm Harry's agent, is Harry.
What's going on?
You want to split this movie into two? Yeah. Perfect, beautiful. Because you got
what's going on?
You six movies in. They're gonna change actors at the end. I got y'all wrapped around my finger.
Good luck with that.
So I'm either gonna say Harry, Alan Rickman, or Maggie Smith. It's got to be one of those three. And
choose one.
Screen time wise, who's on the screen? Oh, I would say of all of them, obviously the screen time would have to play off of that. So really the question is if it's Harry for screen time, no, because if we were looking at how many minutes they spent on the screen, that would throw Harry's off because he's the focal point. So it would have to be Snape or McGonagall, and who's in it more? They're probably in it about the same amount. They're great periods of, I'm going to say McGonagall, because Snape has his own individual scenes, and McGonagall doesn't really have any individual scenes.
Incorrect answer.
Incorrect? All right. Who was it?
The answer is Draco Malfoy.
Oh, Big Draco?
Big Draco.
Wow. I didn't.
Big paper.
You know what? I maybe would have worked there, but I wouldn't. That wouldn't have been one of my first guesses.
Shout out to Draco's manager. He got the Jerry Maguire of managers.
Word.
Draco hit him on over the head for $20 million.
Okay, that's good. Tom Felton,
yeah, phenomenal performance.
Yeah.
Screen time, they said, was 33 minutes
altogether.
Altogether, $500,000 per minute. Every minute he was on this 500 bands.
That's that Slytherin work. He said, hey. I'm not one of them Hufflepuffs. You're not about to hit me with that Hufflepuff contract.
All that.
I need that Salazar. Get that Salazar over here.
I need all them galleons.
Speaking of money, well, wizarding dollars, we asked a question last week about how Harry got his money.
Okay.
We know it came from his parents, but his parents weren't all that old. The Potters are well known. Their family is a well-known family to have wealth in the wizarding world. So last week we asked you guys to leave in the comments, how did Harry, he gets the money, he sees in his Gringotts vault that he's got a lot of money, and Hagrid tells him, hey, you didn't think your family would leave you with nothing. And we asked you guys, how did they come about that money? So now I'm gonna let you guys know. It's because one of Harry's ancestors, I had the name earlier. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's a great name. Fleamont Potter.
Yeah.
Fleamont Potter.
Big Flea. Cousin Flea.
He was a good potioneer, and they came up with the Sleek Easy hair potion. And I guess they got the wizarding patents going, and that had the money rolling in. So big shout out to Big Fleamont Potter. That's where that money came in at. He was letting all his ancestors know.
Them finger waves busting.
Yep. They was getting off them the Potters can fly, so they was getting off them brooms like, oh, listen, my swag is off, and I got to come up with something. Fleamont said, I got you. Not a problem. Fleamont's Sleek Easy hair potion is where Harry got his money from.
All right. My favorite segment. Fact or cap? All right. I think I got some good ones for you this week.
All right. Well, this chapter is a good one because I got a little fan theory to go into, but let's do the fact or cap first.
Okay, cool. All right. So Snape taught Voldemort how to fly, but he was taught by Lily Evans. Hear me out here.
Okay.
Yeah. Reasons to be true. Harry saw Voldemort flying. Remember? Last book, chasing them when they were leaving the house, right? He said Voldy was flying like smoke against the wind, without a broomstick or a thestral to hold him. JK said all wizards have the ability to fly innately, even though the vast majority need a broom to achieve it. Voldemort was so confident and focused that he could channel the energy through himself rather than a broom. Obviously, you have to be really skilled and powerful to do that. Snape showcased his ability to fly in the Deathly Hallows. In the fight with McGonagall, he jumped, said McGonagall. Harry said, you mean he's dead? No, he's learned new tricks from his master, she shares. As she thought that through proximity and opportunity to learn, Snape got it from Voldy, but she was wrong. While many think Voldy had taught Snape, it was the other way around. And here's something to prove it. Snape learned it through Lily, segment of the book. Laughing, Lily swung higher than her sister. She quivered with excitement about what she was going to do. Lily, don't do it, shrieked Petunia. But her words came too late. Lily had already let go of the swing and was soaring higher and higher into the air. But the girl had let go of the swing at the very height of its arc and flown into the air, literally flying, and launched herself skyward with a great shout of laughter. And instead of crumpling on the playground asphalt, she soared like a trapeze artist through the air, saying far too long and landing too lightly. I believe, and the theory is that she knew how to fly. She taught Snape. Snape taught Voldemort. Snape is well known. Snape taught her stuff. She taught Snape stuff. Snape passed it along to Voldemort, obviously because there's certain secrets he had to give. Thoughts, fact or cap?
I think that this one is not so flimsy. There's a lot of groundwork in terms of the timing of it, and Lily showing Snape, or Lily having that childhood, I guess, talent of controlling her ability to fly through the air. The only issue I would say fact, but this is the only issue that I have.
Okay.
I don't know that Voldemort is teachable. Okay. I don't necessarily think that he displayed any of the qualities of being taught, particularly as maybe as a student, but particularly as in the time that he would have been around Snape. And also remember that Snape doesn't spend that much time around Voldemort. And then as it relates to flying in general, I think that probably more wizards that could fly is just probably seen as somewhat menial or not necessarily. I think they could fly, but it's about flying well, because when you like Voldemort is flying chasing Harry and he's that was like the first time it's mentioned, but he's flying chasing Harry, and maybe Voldemort is really, I mean, we know he's a powerful wizard.
Yeah.
His ability to fly very well maybe was more less encumbersome than him relying on a thestral or a broom, which are the two main primary ways that we know wizards fly.
Okay.
I think that other wizards might find it pointless to need to be able to fly at that level. Like if they're going somewhere, they can apparate, or if they're gonna fly on a broom, they can use the broom. They don't need to be, agile and mobile to chase anyone down in the air. So I think that that's where the holes in this theory are. Although I like the idea that of tying Severus's and Lily's relationship into this theory, and then how that would relate to Voldemort. But also, then I would, Snape's a double agent.
Mhm.
So what is he teaching Voldemort to fly for? To be better at, or to do better at, I guess, getting on, hunting down the order. Like, I think that's where this falls a little bit short of a fact for me. Because one, I don't really see Voldemort pulling up on Snape like, "Hey, teach me that thing you do." I think Voldemort's a little too cocky to have someone who he'd consider an underling, although albeit a very good quality. I mean, Voldemort gives Snape his props. In the last book, just that he's a really good wizard. And he even regrets having to snuff him out with Nagini. But I don't necessarily see Snape or Voldemort taking on being taught anything by anybody, just because that wasn't his way. Like if he needed to acquire some information, he just went out and acquired it.
All right, you guys let us know. Fact or cap, what do you guys think about this one? We'll definitely look out for the comments below. All right, next one. The Avada Kedavra curse kills instantly. Why not? But why did Dumbledore not drop on the spot? Theory. Snape did not want to kill Albus. As a result, the Avada Kedavra didn't work on Albus. Albus instead did fall. The curse wasn't as potent because he didn't mean it. The bind didn't break until Albus, remember Harry was held by the bind.
Mm-hmm.
The bind didn't break until Albus hit the ground, meaning he was alive when he was in the air. The fall killed Albus, not the curse. Fact or cap?
I actually like this as a fact. And there's a couple of reasons why from the material. At some point, when after Dumbledore gets the curse from the ring, and Snape is tending to him, and he's basically, Snape and Dumbledore basically recognize that Dumbledore is done, and the curse is going to take him out. And so somewhere along in their meetings, Dumbledore basically tells Snape, "You got to be the one to do it."
Yeah.
This is part of Dumbledore's plan to keep Snape in the good graces of Voldemort for as long as possible. But two, Dumbledore basically says, "I'd rather you do it than, Bellatrix do it, who likes to play with her food before she eats it." So and he's just like casually talking about it. And this is one of those things about Dumbledore where he's like, even Snape makes mention of this. He's like, if it don't matter if you're going to go, why not just let Draco do it? And Dumbledore kind of just says to Snape, he's like, I'm not going to have that boy rip his soul apart on my account. And Snape kind of agrees. And this is like a year or so before Snape actually has to do it. But Snape kind of agrees, and he basically gives Dumbledore his word, and that's the end of it. And then later on, Snape is kind of upset with Dumbledore, and they're arguing, and Snape basically kinds to G-check Dumbledore, like, "Oh, you won't tell me this, or you won't do this, and you want the small favor of me basically giving you a merciful death. And Dumbledore just says, Severus, you gave me your word. And that's all, and that's it. And so in the scene where he performs the Avada Kedavra, it does give you the idea that there was something different about that Avada Kedavra curse than how in the other times that it happens. And then we draw back to the point of when Fake Moody, aka Barty Crouch Jr., was explaining the unforgivable curses to the fourth years. He tells them that they could all get their wands out now and say the words, and he wouldn't even get a nosebleed.
In the immortal words of Voldemort, you have to mean it.
Yeah. Well,
say
also,
it with your chest.
the first time outside of Moody saying it or Barty Crouch saying it, Bellatrix says it to Harry when he's chasing her through the Department of Mysteries after Sirius dies. He uses an unforgivable curse. He hits her with a Crucio, and she screams, but it doesn't fully hurt her.
Yeah.
Because Harry's just saying the words, but he's not. She says, "Righteous anger won't hurt me for long."
Yeah,
and it is righteous anger that's coming from Harry. She's like, "You got to really mean it. You got to really want to hurt this person. Like, you got to be a menace." And Harry learns that later on when is it Electo Carroll who spits at McGonagall? Oh, he lit them up. You shouldn't have done that. Crucio. And his internal monologue says, wow, Bellatrix was right. You really got to mean it. And Harry was just sick at that point. I'm sick of y'all running around, acting like y'all big tough. I got some smoke for you. That is one of my favorite parts when Harry just like, I'm taking the gloves off. Y'all want to, you know what I'm saying? But as it relates to this, I'm going to go with fact only because there is a lot of lingering details that suggest that this Avada Kedavra was not the same Avada Kedavra that we are accustomed to.
Okay. All right. What do you guys think? Fact, cap, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. All right. So we're going to get into it. Chapter 6, titled 9 3/4. All right.
The journey from platform 9 3/4.
The journey. Yeah.
The journey from platform 9 3/4.
Sorry. So it starts with Harry, getting back to the Dursleys. This is, I wanted to ask you this. Like, every time Harry goes back to the Dursleys, it's painful. One could argue this is one of the more painful returns to the Dursleys. To get that sensational whiff of what's really out there and have to wait a whole nother month to even have the potential opportunity to get back to it. I mean, he's had some bad ones, right? I mean, obviously the return that stands out to me, and I think it was pretty bad, was when he lost Sirius. I mean, that was a pretty tough one. But what do you think? If you were to rank the top 2 or 3 times books, which ones would you choose? Give me 1 or 2.
I mean, I don't think this one is as bad because this is the one with the most hope. It's like he knows he's not staying.
Yeah.
Harry returning to the Dursleys is not really explained to him until book 5 or 6, I think it is. And there's strong magic that makes the Dursleys a safe place for him is the primary function of Harry being placed with the Dursleys, right? I don't know why no one explains this to him beforehand, and I think it's partially because like Dumbledore is making sure to keep Harry grounded because he knows he knows the task that he reveals it at the last second, but he knows the task that Harry has at hand. So it's important to keep Harry grounded in a particular way and make sure he never forget where he came from. Because like it or not, the Dursleys is what Harry came from.
Yeah.
That may not be his lineage or his direct family, but his childhood is that what
that
he
space.
what he suffered and with the Dursleys. So that is a part of who Harry is, and I think it's important for Dumbledore to make sure that Harry doesn't forget that, because if he forgets that, he has the world as his oyster as Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
He is the chosen one. He is all this, everything that people think of him. He is.
Yeah.
And so without that grounding, he can't. It's hard. It would be very difficult for him to complete the task that they need him to complete.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's also part of why Dumbledore makes sure he goes back to Privet Drive.
Mm-hmm.
This is like I said, this is probably like not that significant in terms of him going back to the Dursleys, because this is a time where he knows he's leaving, and it's the first time he knows that he's leaving. So he's excited. He says his internal monologue in the chapter says, you know, if I'm sitting in the chair, the Dursleys don't even pay attention to me. and you know, after a decade of being bullied, this is the first time he's just in the house chilling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is not even that bad of a time for Harry to be back at the Dursleys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you know, Harry ends up, you know, they're packing his stuff. Vernon agrees to take him to platform 9 3/4.
Now without a little slick comment.
Yeah.
Vernon had to hit him with the
leave or something.
Oh, you a wizard, but y'all getting there on the train?
Exactly.
What happened to the magic carpets? The magic carpets had holes in them. Like Vernon on his troll game now. He done called an L.
Playing.
He got Hagrid done bent up his chopper. He's sitting in the house. He's scared of his little nephew. His little nephew, little pistol starter. His son done got a pigtail on him. Vernon said, "I'm still getting my shots in." Oh, y'all getting there on the train, huh? What kind of wizards are y'all? Y'all, what's going on with y'all? Can't get the bus? Vernon had to throw his little shots in there. I peeped that.
Yeah. So he drops Harry off there. Obviously, you know, he like sits him down, shows him platform 9, platform 10. They laugh, they walk away. And there's gonna be some introductions of characters today. And you know, but this is like his first time really, you know, meeting the Weasleys. You know, which is pretty interesting. You know, in particular, he talks to Molly for the first time, which I think is pretty cool. You know, but also one of the ones he got introduced to early on, and I want to give we're gonna have a lot of time to do a character analysis on Molly and give that a lot of time. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Percy. Okay. I think Percy was a pretty interesting character. We get our first interaction with him, and Percy was definitely a pivotal character in the series. You know, for those who don't know, he is the third oldest child of the Weasley family. You know, younger than Bill and Charlie, so he's kind of like in that middle-ish area. You know, Gryffindor, of course, very smart, prefect, head boy, works in the Ministry of Magic. Very disciplined, pompous, you know, be a little bit arrogant, a little bit you know, thick-headed, you know, at times, which a lot of people are. Really smart, but no street smarts, you know.
Well, Percy is supposed to represent unchecked ambition. And what that could potentially lead to. I mean, he ultimately makes it back. But that's what Percy represents. Ambition.
Yeah. You know, when I was doing some research on somebody that would be a good Percy Weasley, like, you know, African American actor that you know, was popping up was Tyler James Williams from Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, okay.
They were saying he'd be an interesting one. He's kind of like, I don't know if you've seen Everybody Hates Chris. He's kind of like
I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, kind of a little bit, you know, talk smack, kind of arrogant, you know, young, you know, typical kid going through puberty, dealing with mom and dad stuff. So that actually was a pretty interesting one for sure.
That one could work. One could work.
Yeah. So, you know, so obviously then he heads onto the train. You know, he gets.
Well, I want to, before we get to him getting on the train, because there's a bunch of stuff that happens on the train.
Okay.
I talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Okay.
The Weasleys interacting with Harry at King's Cross Station is, I mean, again, this is something that was new to me. Not new to me, but it was a new thought that occurred as I was doing a reread for this for
Mhm.
the show.
Mhm.
But even going through it again, it is almost patently obvious that
Mhm.
this interaction was curated by Dumbledore.
Yeah. 100%.
Um, the big red flag that this is a curated interaction is Molly saying, "Now, what platform is it?" Because she's with all her kids. She's got kids that have been to Hogwarts and have graduated by now.
She's been there farther than enough many times.
In the smallest estimation, Molly has journeyed and gone through platform 9 3/4, no less.
Mhm.
I'm saying like no, like no for herself, than for Bill and Charlie, and now her younger
Yes.
children, Fred and
Mhm.
George, and she's gone through or gone to King's Cross and done the entrance to platform 9 3/4 no less than 30 times.
Yeah.
And so for her to be saying it out loud, even as her character is a little bit of a worry wart, and
Mhm.
she's worried and hustling through the idea that she would say it out loud or need to say it out loud as if her children need to be told what it is or answer the question, or there's no functional reason in any way for her to say out loud, "Now, what platform is it?" "Oh, that's right, platform 9 3/4."
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
not like there's other magical uh platforms. It's like, "Oh, which one is one for the school?" "Oh, 9 3/4."
Mhm.
The only functional reason for her to say it out loud, even if she's rambling, is so that Harry hears it.
Yeah.
And then if you read through the chapter, I don't have it pulled up, but Harry is basically tiptoeing in the conversation with Molly, and Molly's basically finishing his sentences.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, first time at Hogwarts, dear?" He's like, "Yeah." "Oh, you don't know how to get on the platform?"
Yeah.
"No." "Well,
Mhm.
it's really easy." And she gives him the instructions, right?
Mhm.
And for those to be the instructions, and those instructions not to have been given to Harry in any other way at any other time,
Yeah.
Harry's basically floating in the wind in this uh interaction.
Yeah.
And um
Yeah.
it's just more clear that Dumbledore is running MI6.
Yeah.
Dumbledore is running magical,
Interference.
and he's curating Harry's experience from before this moment, but this is how involved he is in curating Harry's experience into the magical world.
Mhm.
Because once you recognize that Molly is an agent,
Yeah.
so to speak, the only person who would have put her up to it is Albus.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're not going to get to this in this show, I'm sure, but I would love to see little stuff like this pulled to the side where Albus is coaching Molly on how to basically win over Harry and indoctrinate him into her family. And
Mhm.
this is the very first experience of that. But it's so clear that that has to be how it happened, just from the language, from how she's answering his questions, from how she's being motherly.
Yeah.
And Dumbledore knows that she's going to be motherly, so it's supposed to come off very natural. And when
Mhm.
you're on your first read, you don't know who Molly Weasley is, so it's easy to dismiss this information. But once you know who Molly is and how many times she's been on platform 9 3/4 and how many times she's had children be on platform 9 3/4, there is no way on earth
Mhm.
in the midst of muggles she would be talking about some platform 9 3/4
Yeah.
unless it was to capture Harry's attention, because
Mhm.
she knew Harry would be at a bit of a loss for how to
Yeah.
get to this magical place.
Mhm.
So I wanted to touch on that because it's significant that somebody's pulling the strings to give Harry an impression about the magical world, because that's what happens when he gets on the train. He starts to learn um, little nuances of the magical world by some of the people that he meets.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is also the first time we get to meet Ron. You know, and we're going to get into a more in-depth analysis. So for those who don't know, a light one today. Obviously Ron, key member of the series. Ron, Hermione, and Harry. You know, part of the big Weasley clan. You know, some would consider a loyal, brave person. Loyal could be depending on the person. That would say that. Truly Harry Potter's close friend in the first year, and ultimately helps, you know, Harry in the end achieve his final goal. You know, when I was doing my research again, like who would be a great Ron, I actually thought the perfect one was Shamik Moore. And I don't know if you've ever seen you know, Kicks or
Kicks?
Dope with ASAP Rocky. The Get Out. Wu-Tang Clan TV show on Hulu.
Oh, the TV show? I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't watch a lot of Hulu.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen him before. He's been in a couple things that I've seen. I'm trying to see.
But he's also like smart, kind of quirky guy. Played a little bit of the nerd, the cool nerd type of guy too. Which I think Ron kind of is like is he cool? But he's not a nerd.
I don't think he's a nerd.
I think Neville's more of a nerd. But Ron isn't corny per se. He's poor. I think not corny.
No, I mean the trope that Ron represents in the series is that he has a lot to live up to. He feels like his family name and his like who the Weasleys are set a lot of expectations on him as a Weasley. You know, his older brother was Quidditch captain. One of his other brothers is the head boy. Percy's, you know, smart, a prefect. Ends up becoming head boy. Fred and George are very, very popular. So for Ron, he's looking around like everybody's got something going. What's gonna be my thing? Like, and even if I am head boy, Quidditch captain, very popular, super smart, somebody did it first.
Yeah.
So that's Ron's internal struggle throughout the series about his, you know, how he deals with in understands his place at Hogwarts and in the world really. How he's going to be an individual and important and things like that. So that's something that replays itself over and over and over and over again. And he says it to Harry on the train too. He's like, you know, I got a lot to live up to. I'm trying to get this thing right. And this is something that is important to Harry because it's important that Harry gets all these different perspectives about the magical world. Because having not been a part of the magical world, his ride on the train is really him downloading like how he's going to navigate himself within the school. I mean, he's still learning little details that everyone else who's on the train knows. Even Hermione, who's Muggle born, has read every book and she's got all this information. So Harry's like kind of butt naked as it relates to what he should expect at Hogwarts. He's also a little bit nervous about, you know, not really being a good wizard. And you know, he's faced with decisions even on the train about who and what kind of wizard he's going to be that early because he's so significant to the magical world. Everybody wants to get a little glimpse, a little piece of who this kid Harry Potter is.
So, you know, obviously they sit down in the trolley. They're talking. And we get our first, well, not our first, but we get exposure to a couple things. The first one is a huge breadcrumb by JK, which is the introduction of Scabbers, which we obviously know plays a huge role in this series over the next, you know, or over all the books, pretty much, you know, until the big reveal, which is just a phenomenal, like this next level reveal when she finally does let it unfurl. We get our first glimpse into him, and we also get an introduction with outside of Hermione, which we'll get into, Crab and Goyle, the goons for Draco.
The future Slytherin goons.
Yeah, definitely. I love this line from Draco on the first interaction with Ron, Hermione, and Harry. Well, he's talked to Harry before, but he said, Ron set himself up for failure with this one. So Draco introduces himself in his name, and Ron gives a slight cough, which might have been hiding a snicker. Draco looks at him and says, "The name's funny, do you? No need to ask who you are. My father told me all the Weasleys have red hair, freckles, and more children than they can afford."
That's that.
You mad to pop me right then.
Oh yeah. See,
you gonna have to pop me.
Again,
we should have fade right there.
This is a children's book. And they do eventually get to shooting magical fades with Draco.
No doubt.
But it would have definitely been some, as McGonagall once said, some muggle dueling going on right here. Because Draco, and this is an important part of the chapter, because Draco's is giving Ron he's revealing himself as a snobby little punk. And it's important because he offers Harry his hand and say, Carter, you're soon going to learn that some wizarding families are much better than others, and I can help you there. And this is the first chance for Harry to be like, this is the first chance to define what Harry's going to be.
Who he wants to be.
Like, if Dumbledore is watching, this is the moment where he's like, all this influence that I put into this kid, is it working?
Yeah.
And Harry does exactly what Dumbledore would hope him to do.
Yeah.
I think that I can do that for myself. Thanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's part of it is because Draco is so obnoxious with it. Like, if Draco had a little bit of je ne sais quoi to it,
a little debonair,
it would have he could have played it off. He could have maybe won over Harry.
Yeah.
Or started to have his own influences on Harry. But he just came out he just can't. This is what I was saying about before last episode, where he just capping, like, he come out so brash and so, hey, I'm that dude. I'm a Malfoy. We come from money. We, all of this stuff is very like standoffish for the humble kid that Harry is because of his upbringing, which is why Dumbledore played it that way. Because see, if Harry grew up, in the limelight and, oh, you're Harry Potter and you're this and you're that, he might have gravitated towards Draco because he would see Draco as, oh, he got it figured out. He knows what's going on. So I think it's very significant that Draco played it this way. Not that Draco's really playing, Draco's just being himself, but that he played it this way, and Harry immediately rejects it, like this early in the story. So Draco kind of outlines himself to Harry as somebody that's I could do without him. And then, but for sure, if I'm Ron, it's going down
right then.
Like hey, Draco, that's how we got to shoot the fair one.
Yeah.
Tell your goons, fall back.
Close the trunk. Lock the trunk.
Yep, if you really about it, if that's how you feel, we about to shoot this fair one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. I'm letting you know day one in school is not going to go like that. So you can keep all your comments to yourself. And they eventually get to that point with Draco where they just be like, all right, bro, it could be smoke if you want it to be smoke. But in this moment right now, you gonna disrespect me in front of Harry Potter and everything? Nah.
Not
lock
at all.
that door. Excuse me, Hermione, you need to step out. Hold the rat. Neville, fall back.
Close the
Crab
curtains.
It's me and you. Let's get to it. That's simple.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Draco says, I'd be careful about you, Potter. Unless you're a little bit, this guy Draco's a gangster. Unless you're a bit politer, you'll go the same way as your parents. They didn't know what was good for them either. You hang around with that riffraff like the Weasleys, Muggleborns, and that Hagrid, and it'll start to rub off on you. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't have been able to, if I'm Ron Weasley, or even if I'm Harry.
Yeah.
especially Harry been growing up getting into it with Dudley and his gang.
Exactly.
I'm looking at Malfoy like
this is light work. This is easy,
bruh,
easy
matter
money.
put your wand down, bro. Like, let's just get to it. We don't know
Get this
no
out the way.
spells and nothing like that yet. But I'm about to give you this fade real quick, just to let you know, the way you coming in here,
Crazy.
shaking and moving, is not. You can keep that on that other side of the train with the Slytherin. You come around here with that, it's gonna be smoke every single time.
Mm-hmm. So the train stops. They end up getting on the boats, and the chapter ends with them heading to the castle and knocking at the door. And they're about to enter the school for the first time. So who do you think really stood out this chapter? If you're gonna name one,
this is the winner of this chapter is the Dumbledore Molly Weasley alliance. Dumbledore as the head of MI6 for in the magical world, and Molly Weasley as the top caseworker. I mean, she this is a Homeland reference. She played this like Carrie would have. They're the winner of the episode because right before Harry gets on the train, he's hit with all these different magical perspectives. Malfoy is the shining example of the opposite perspective. She catches him right before and brings him in, and she basically puts him on the cuff into the Weasley clan, like just in time. And that's what Dumbledore would have wanted. So even though it's not written anywhere, that definitely is what was going on. That's a fact for sure. The winner of this chapter is Molly and Dumbledore's winning the influence over Harry to give him the feeling of leaning towards the Weasleys and what they're about more than leaning towards a Draco, let's say, and what they're about. That's easy, clear-cut winner for me.
I'm going with Big Draco.
Big Draco. How's Draco winning?
A Big Draco. Listen, and
he's like getting them checks. That's what it is.
He's like the Lou Williams. He's a lemon pepper Lou of Harry Potter in this chapter, right? He came in there fresh off the bench. I got a quick 20 for y'all, real quick. In a matter of a couple pages, he forms a crew.
Yeah,
that's right behind him.
Well,
Crab and Goyle.
Crab and Goyle, they crewed up because their fathers are all Death Eaters, so they've been crewed up for a minute.
But they under the wing.
But he pulled up with him like, "Hey, look, dog, we going. These my folk. It can get busy."
Yeah, violated Ron.
Yeah, and Harry
and Hermione. He completely snuffed them all.
Yeah,
and then when Harry tried to fight back, he started talking about his dead parents.
Yeah,
and lived to see another day.
Yeah, that was cold. Draco was cold on this one. But the point I think is that maybe Harry would have been influenced by that if Dumbledore and Molly don't run their game.
Yeah.
Dumbledore and Molly run this. I'm telling you, this was. I really want to see that scene. Like
poetry in motion.
I'm talking directly to HBO right now.
We need that.
Talk to JK. I'm telling you, this is what happened. She gonna tell you this was definitely a Dumbledore MI6 move. I'm talking to the showrunners of HBO right now. Y'all gonna be in the Hall of Fame of show writing if y'all do this scene right here. If you do this scene right here where Dumbledore is talking to Molly and telling Molly that Harry's gonna be kind of listless in King's Cross, and that all she has to do is suggest that she knows where the platform is, and as much as you want to flush it out, it definitely happened. It's not in the book, but if you start to take these little inferences and put them into the show, you're gonna have an all-time. You're gonna have subscribers. The money's gonna roll in. The money's gonna roll in. I know they're not gonna do it. But I'm just saying, if by on Godric, if anybody sees this and they work for HBO, you take this to the top. Yeah. This is a home run right here.
Yeah,
home run
for sure.
This scene right here, straight home run, season 1.
Yeah. All right, and we're gonna wrap it up here. We will see you guys next episode.
Definitely like, subscribe. Seriously Black the show. We out.
Watch the legend go.